So guys, what is going on? I hope you guys are well. So guys, I saw an interview with Robert Garcia where he said that Terence Crawford will knock out Kell Brook when he wants to. Stop it. Stop it. Terence Crawford's good. He's not that good. And Kell Brook's not that bad that he's going to get knocked out when Terence Crawford wants to knock him out. You know what? This is going to be a tough fight. You know, Kell Brook's a tough cookie. You know, he's not one to go down easily. I think that's very disrespectful to say he'll knock him out when he wants to knock him out. Crawford's a good fighter, but don't get me wrong, he's not that good. You know, Kavalauskas wasn't knocked out when, you know, he wanted to knock him out. He even got rocked in that fight. Benavidez went 11 rounds with him. You know, Amir Khan went, 6, 7 rounds was it? And, you know, the fight didn't end because he knocked him out. The fight ended because, you know, he hit Amir Khan with a low blow, and then Amir Khan couldn't really continue. It wasn't really a clean knockout or nothing. Even though I thought he was gonna go on to stop Amir Khan, but it was he never bludgeoned him. You know what I mean? It was like the fight ended the way it ended, and then even Jeff Horn, you know, Jeff Horn went quite a few rounds. He got beat up and beat down, and then eventually Crawford stopped him. But it wasn't power. It wasn't like a lot of. He didn't show a lot of power in any of those fights, if I'm honest with you. And to be honest, it's not that. I expect Terence Crawford to outbox Kell Brook. And I've said it that I think Kell Brook only has a really puncher's chance in this fight. He needs to land something big and hurt Crawford. Not like a lot of his fans say that he hurt, what's his name, Porter and Spence and Golovkin. Not. That's not hurt. When I mean hurt, I mean have Crawford down, wobbly legs, and look like he's about to stop him and stop him. Hurt is not when the guy keeps coming forward. That's not hurt. You need to hurt him, put him down, hurt him where he's about to be knocked out. That's what I mean by hurt. If Terence Crawford's got buzzed and he keeps coming, or he's still in his rhythm, then that's not really hurting him. Because to be honest, if Kell Brook doesn't stop Terence Crawford, he isn't winning a points decision against this guy. Kell Brook needs to put it on him, stick it on him, hit him with a hard shot. Not a case where he needs to hit him with a hard shot and hurt him, right? But in terms of Kell Brook being knocked out when Crawford wants to knock him out, that's bull crap. Not gonna get knocked out when he wants to knock him out, because Terence Crawford is not that type of fighter. You know, Errol Spence punches harder than Kell Brook. Kell Brook went quite a few rounds with Errol Spence. I do think that when I saw Kell Brook against Rafa, Kell Brook's defense isn't great anymore. He gets hit a lot, and Crawford's very fast. He's very accurate, and he's gonna catch Kell Brook. There's no doubt about it. Kell Brook will be able to absorb the punishment, but it wouldn't shock me if the fight goes a bit like Jeff Horn, where, you know, Jeff Horn was able to absorb a lot of Crawford's punches. Like I said, Crawford isn't a power puncher. But over the time, it's kind of like chipping away at a tree, chipping away, and eventually the tree will fall. And that's what I think Crawford may do to Kell Brook. I think the longer the fight goes on, the more Kell Brook will get tired, and eventually the beating or the punches that Crawford keeps landing round after round after round will break Kell Brook down, and eventually I think he'll get forced to late stoppage. That would be my prediction, if I'm honest with you. A lot of you think that, you know, Kell Brook won't get stopped. I beg to differ. You know, I don't know whether Kell Brook's stamina is going to be good at this weight. And to be honest, a lot of you keep saying the eye injury against Errol Spence. I actually think it was down to fatigue and tiredness against Errol Spence as much as the eye injury. I think Kell Brook was knackered and he was done. If I'm honest with you, I think he was tired. And I think this fight, I think he's going to get tired as well, because I think Crawford's gonna continue to hit him. Although I don't think Crawford's got the power of Errol Spence. It's just kind of like if someone keeps hitting you and hitting you and hitting you, eventually it's gonna tire you out. And I just think that's what's gonna happen. I think Jeff Horn wasn't really troubled by Crawford's power that much. Jeff Horn was able to take all of his shots, but eventually he kept getting beat up, and eventually just got worn out. And I think that's what's gonna happen with Kell Brook, if I'm honest with you. Unless Kell Brook's able to land something and hurt him. And like I said, when I mean land something and hurt him, not what he did with Porter, Spence and Golovkin. That's not good enough. That's not landing and hurting. Landing and hurting is when you hit someone and they hit the deck and they look like they were about to get knocked out. Basically, Wilder, Fury, you know, Garcia, Khan. That's the kind of Joshua Klitschko. That's how he needs to get Crawford hurt. And if he's not able to get Crawford hurt like that, then he can't win. Simple as that. He needs to knock Crawford out. He's not going to be able to win a points decision against Crawford. He's not going to be able to outbox Crawford. It's just not happening. Crawford's too slick, too good, too skillful, too fast, too in his prime, too young. He needs to hit and hurt. He needs to hurt him with a big right hand or a left hook. He needs to land something of significance and really buzz, or an uppercut. Kell Brook's got a good uppercut, so if he can land a serious uppercut, who knows? Who knows? But if he's not able to land a big bomb that's going to buzz and hurt Crawford, I reckon in the first 3 or 4 rounds we're going to know, because if Kell Brook's not able to get Crawford's respect with his power, he could be in big trouble, right? And Crawford's going to test him out. Crawford's going to first go in there and test out his power. He's going to see, sometimes you take the shots on your arms just to see how hard he's hitting. And then Crawford's going to see if he can take those shots. If he feels that this guy's power's not as much, or he's not that powerful, Crawford may become more aggressive. And I feel like if Crawford feels this guy's powerful, then Crawford's going to become defensive. He's going to fight him more defensively. He's going to be more cagey. He's just going to look to pick him off, outbox him, land punches, and try to get behind a tricky defense. I reckon if he feels he can take Brook's power, then I think you're going to see a more aggressive side. After a couple of rounds, you'll see Crawford get more aggressive, like he did with Khan. You'll see him start going into a southpaw stance, start to break Brook down, and become very aggressive, hitting with body shots and come over the top. Every round you're gonna see Crawford pick it up, and Kell Brook, as the rounds keep going, he's gonna tire and become slower and slower and slower. Kell Brook isn't gonna get better as the rounds go on. He's gonna diminish as the rounds go on. Crawford is more likely to get better. That's my opinion. I just feel like Crawford will get better. Brook will probably diminish as the rounds go on. Just going off his previous fights, apart from the Porter one, if you look at the Golovkin and Spence one, he definitely diminished as the rounds went off, being in a tough fight. And I think this is going to be a tough fight as well. So, and like I said, I think Kell Brook needs to land and hurt Crawford. If he's able to land and hurt, or in the first couple of rounds be able to get Crawford's respect and get Crawford on the back foot, where Crawford's like, wow, this guy's got then Kell Brook has a good chance, because Crawford knows he can hurt him. He may become more cagey. And then like I said, I don't think Kell Brook's going to get a points decision here. I just don't see it. I think Kell Brook's best chance is to land and hurt him. That's why I think Kell Brook should go in the first 6-7 rounds. I've even said this, that I think Kell Brook should jump on him and try and taking him out. Because I think as the fight goes on, I think Kell Brook, the fact that he's going to... Listen, man, he struggled to make weight in 2017 against Spence. It's not going to get any easier now. I saw pictures of Kell Brook recently, and this was a couple of weeks before the fight, and you could tell his face is starting to... you can tell the fat starting to come off his face, and he's starting to look a little bit drawn. As the fight comes closer, you're going to see him become, look very drawn. And he is older now. Remember, he's 34 now. So he's more likely to tire in this fight. Like I said, I think he needs to jump on him and hurt him. He needs to jump on him and hurt him. That's his only way. I'm telling you, that's his only way of winning this fight. He needs to jump and hurt. If he can jump and hurt Crawford, he's got a great chance. If not, then he's in for a long night. I think in the first 3 or 4 rounds, if we don't see Crawford hurt, wobbled, buzzed, I think it's going to be a long night for Kell Brook. I think Kell Brook's got to show his intent early on in the fight. He's got to get Crawford off his rhythm early on. Crawford gets into a rhythm early on in the fight. Crawford starts boxing and getting into his rhythm. It's curtains for Kell Brook. Because what you got to understand, Kell Brook's been putting in the work in the gym and stuff. It's not like being in there in the ring. Kell Brook's been very inactive in the last couple of years. He's not been in the ring as regular as you want a top fighter to be in the ring. And he's definitely not been in there with top level competition. Kell Brook's he fights high level guys. I wouldn't say, I'd say in the last couple of years, 4 years, he's been fighting high level guys, or he's been fighting lower level men. That's it. That's his career. He went from fought Golovkin, then fought Errol Spence straight away, 2 high-level men, lost that, and then now he's going from Rabchenko, Zarafa, and Mark DeLuca to Crawford. It's just like, it's like from E level to A plus level. It's just not the greatest preparation, you know, for a fight of this magnitude, really. And then he's been inactive. When did he fight Mark? It wasn't that long ago. Was it in February? I can't remember. When did he fight Mark DeLuca? I think it was just before. Actually, it was just before the. It was just before before March, wasn't it? I think he fought in Feb. Before Tyson Fury's fight, I think Brook fought. So actually, Brook's fought. It's just that before the Mark DeLuca fight, when did he fight? I think it had been a year out. It'd been quite a long time out. So it's just the inactivity for Brook, really, over the last couple of years. So over the last 3 years, you'd say he's fought, after the Spence fight, he's fought Rabchenko, Zarafa, and Mark DeLuca. That's 1 fight a year, right? And he's been very inactive in the process. So yeah, that's very inactive for a top level fighter, and the level of competition's not exactly A plus level or even A or B level, really. Those guys are not, world class fighters. So yeah, listen, it's gonna be tough. But he's, like I said, if he jumps on him, puts some leather on him early on, makes him taste some leather, hurts him, puts him down, gets Crawford off his rhythm, then we may have a fight. But he needs to make that his intentions early. If he lets Crawford get into a rhythm, Crawford get into, behind his jab, or get Crawford behind his let Crawford get behind his tricky defense, then it's curtains. Like I said, he needs to let Crawford know his intentions early on in the fight, get him off his rhythm. Crawford can't afford to have a good start, because if Crawford builds a head of steam, then he's the superior boxer with the guy with the better skills, and he's the one that's going to take over, So he needs to jump on Crawford, make him taste some leather. But leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. What do you think Kell Brook needs to do? Do you think he needs to jump on him early? Do you think he needs to box him? I don't think he should box him. Or do you think? What do you think, basically? What do you think Kell Brook needs to do? In terms of the Robert Garcia comment about Brook gets knocked out, it's nonsense. Not going to get knocked out when Crawford feels like it. It's going to be a lot tougher than that. I think that's just totally disrespectful to Kell Brook. But that's probably because, Robert Garcia hasn't really seen much of Kell Brook. And when he has, Kell Brook's probably been beat. So that's probably why he's got that opinion. And obviously Crawford's been looking special of late. So let's see what happens. Leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think. And guys, remember to please like, share, subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys in the next video.